As Chloe strolled through town, her gaze suddenly locked onto a missing person poster that made her heart skip a beat. The photograph plastered on it was unmistakable. It was a picture of her, taken years ago when she was younger. Her eyes widened in shock and she blinked repeatedly, trying to process the surreal scene unfolding before her. How was this possible? She was standing right there, alive and well, yet the poster claimed she was missing. A wave of confusion washed over her as she struggled to make sense of the bizarre discovery. With shaking hands and a racing heart, Chloe read the text accompanying the missing person poster. She had just returned from a trip overseas, where she had stayed in daily contact with her loved ones. The thought of being reported missing was absurd, especially since she had been enjoying a leisurely stroll around town just moments before. Her eyes had wandered to the poster by chance, and the familiar face staring back at her had left her reeling. As she ripped the paper off the board, the bold letters, Chloe Tryon, missing person, seemed to mock her. She studied the photo, recognizing it as an older picture of herself, taken a few years ago. A wave of confusion washed over her. Who could have created this poster and why? Was it a cruel joke or a genuine mistake? Desperate for answers, Chloe decided to investigate further. She would ask her friends and family if they had seen similar posters around town, and if they knew anything about the mysterious flyer. Her father's words echoed in her mind. One is a fluke, and more is fate. She needed to know if this was an isolated incident or something more sinister. As she was walking around and actively searching for the posters with her face on them, she soon found that, unfortunately, that one poster hadn't been a fluke. After finding the one, she only had to look around for a bit to find a second, and later a third, and even a fourth. Chloe knew what she had to do. She wouldn't go to people who she had thought had organized this silly prank, but people who would actually be able to find out who had done it. It wasn't a long walk before she arrived at her destination. During her walk, she had made sure to look out for more posters and had found a fifth one. Filled with anticipation and nerves, she knocked on a door. She really needed help with this. After knocking, she didn't have to wait too long on the porch. She had totally forgotten to give Tammy a heads up that she was coming. Tammy yanked it open, being frozen for a moment and then engulfing Chloe in a big hug. Though Chloe was grateful for Tammy's response, with the papers in her bag, she couldn't help but wonder if there was more to it than she had originally thought. "Oh my God," Tammy exclaimed, as the two hugged each other. "I cannot believe you are back. I missed you so much," she said, practically jumping with excitement. Chloe smiled at her as the two looked at each other. "I missed you too, Tammy. The best part about coming back from a trip is seeing you again," she said, and she meant it wholeheartedly. However, she hadn't just come there to talk about her trip. She paused, trying to think of a way to tell this crazy thing that had happened that morning. As Chloe tried to explain, she could see the increase of worry in Tammy's eyes. "There are posters of me all around town," Chloe continued, reaching for her bag to show her best friend. Tammy scanned the poster, and her eyebrows raised in confusion. From the look on her face, Chloe knew she hadn't yet come across these. "I haven't seen these before, but I believe you," Tammy said. "This is like super weird. We have to get to the bottom of this." At the local cafe, Chloe met with her closest friends, and as she unfolded the posters, their expressions shifted from curiosity to shock. "This makes no sense," Jaden said, shaking his head. Charlotte, equally stunned, added, "You were sending us photos and messages from your trip. How could you be missing?" Their disbelief was palpable, confirming Chloe's suspicion that the posters were not a prank orchestrated by her inner circle. Later, Chloe convened a larger group of acquaintances and extended family members, hoping someone might have a clue. The day ended with Chloe feeling a mix of gratitude and frustration. Her loved ones, equally mystified, could offer no answers, but their shared bewilderment somehow brought them closer. As she lay in bed that night, Chloe's mind raced with questions. The next morning, Chloe visited the local police station seeking clarification. The officer on duty, after checking their records, looked up in surprise. "You were reported missing 3 weeks into your trip," he informed her. Chloe's heart skipped a beat, but I was in constant contact with everyone, she protested. On her way home, Chloe's mind raced. How could she have been officially missing? She remembered sending regular updates to her family, her friends, and even to her workplace. The contradiction was maddening. At home, Chloe pored over her phone, scrolling through months of messages and emails. Each one was a testament to her active communication during her travels. The next day would be one of digging deeper, of chasing down every lead, no matter how small. As she drifted into a restless sleep, her resolve hardened. She would uncover the truth behind the bizarre and unsettling enigma of the missing person poster. Chloe's fingers trembled as she dialed the number from the poster. After 2 rings, a voice answered, hesitant and shaky. "Hello," it whispered. Chloe introduced herself, and the voice faltered, a hint of fear palpable. "Who is this?" Chloe asked, but before she could get more, the line went dead. In the quiet of her room, Chloe pondered over the call. The voice was unfamiliar, tinged with an emotion she couldn't quite place: fear, guilt. The next day, Chloe met Tammy at a small cafe. Over coffee, she relayed the details of the mysterious call. Tammy listened intently, her brow furrowed. "This is getting weirder by the minute," Tammy said, echoing Chloe's thoughts. As they left the cafe, Chloe and Tammy's resolve hardened. "We need to find out who's behind this," Chloe declared, determination in her voice. With a folder of evidence in hand, Chloe and Tammy approached the police station. Inside, they were met with a mix of curiosity and concern as they explained their situation. The officers listened, their expressions turning from skepticism to intrigue. The story of the mysterious posters and the disconnected call piqued their interest, prompting them to take the case more seriously. An officer confirmed Chloe's status as a missing person, noting the oddity of the situation. "No family report, yet you're listed as missing." Chloe was confused by the official recognition of her missing status while being physically present, feeling the surreal nature of her predicament. The officers assured her and Tammy that they would investigate the phone number and the origin of the posters, acknowledging the uniqueness of the case. As they left the police station, Chloe felt both hope and anxiety, knowing the investigation had started, but the waiting would be torturous. Tammy tried to reassure her, "We're closer than before." Days later, Chloe received a cryptic email from an unknown sender, filled with unsettling references to her past, including places and events only she would know. The tone was eerie and taunting, suggesting the sender had intimate knowledge of her life. With the help of her friend Tammy, Chloe planned to explore her past by revisiting familiar places, speaking to childhood acquaintances, and seeking connections. Chloe and Tammy stumbled upon hidden camera footage showing a woman who looked almost identical to Chloe. Scrutinizing the footage, they identified key locations, including a park from Chloe's childhood and a cafe she had never visited. Each frame deepened the puzzle, raising questions about the impersonator's identity and connection to Chloe. Determined to uncover the truth, Chloe and Tammy mapped out the locations and decided to visit a remote town prominently featured in the footage. Though Chloe had never been there, the town seemed central to the life of her mysterious double. Arriving in the quaint and unfamiliar town, they began their search for answers, speaking with locals and investigating the places shown in the footage. Chloe hoped this journey would finally unravel the enigma surrounding her life. At a local library, they discovered records of a girl identical to Chloe, but living a separate life. The documents revealed a parallel existence, different schools, homes, and friends, connected only by their shared appearance. Armed with this evidence, Chloe confronted her parents, leading to an emotional revelation. She had a twin sister, Kate, separated from her at birth under mysterious circumstances. This life-altering truth reshaped Chloe's identity and her understanding of her past. With unwavering resolve, Chloe embarked on a quest to find Kate, driven by the hope of reuniting with her long-lost sister. After a tireless search, the moment of truth finally arrived, and the two sisters stood face to face, their eyes locking in a profound connection. The air was filled with unbridled joy and emotion as they began a new chapter in their lives, two halves finally made whole. In a quiet cafe, Kate shared her poignant story, revealing the heartbreaking truth behind the missing person posters. With tears in her eyes, she confessed that she had created them as a desperate attempt to reconnect with the family she had never known. The revelation shed light on the mystery that had brought the sisters together, and as they delved deeper into their past, they unraveled the intricate web of secrets and deception that had kept them apart. As they shared their stories, Chloe and Kate forged an unbreakable bond, their understanding of each other growing with each passing moment. With every discovery, they drew closer, their connection strengthened by the shared experiences and the unshakable ties of family. United by blood and determined to face their shared history together, the sisters embarked on a new journey, one filled with hope, love, and the promise of a brighter future. I hope you liked this story. Please give it a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.